United Cup. US ace Coco Gauff falls to 3-set upset to Spain's Jessica Bouzas Maneiro. US ace world number 4 Coco Gauff has stumbled after a stunningly subpar serving performance led to an emphatic 3-set upset defeat to Spain's Jessica Bouzas Maneiro at RAC Arena. In a result which could have ramifications for her country's United Cup retention hopes, the two-time major winner joined the list of high-profile upsets in Perth as she was down 6-1, 6-7, 6-0 by the world number 42. Gauff looked a shadow of the player who waltzed past Argentina's Solina Sierra 6-1, 6-1 in just 57 minutes on Saturday night. Despite a stirring fight back in the second set, the first and third set thrashings took a combined 69 minutes between them. And with Gauff's men's compatriot top 10 ranked Taylor Fritz having lost his first game of the tournament and nursing a knee injury ahead of his clash with John Munar on Monday afternoon, it means USA's fate could be taken out of their hands. Bouzas Maneiro was cleaner and more consistent throughout her win, while the reigning French Open champion's serve fell apart. Gauff hit just one ace, was broken 9 times, including her first 5 and final 3 service games, and had 14 double faults. It took Gauff until the 18th time of asking to win a point on her second serve, by which point she was a set and 4-1 down. She finished the match with just 6 points won off 32 second serves, compared to Bouzas Maneiro's 22 points off 32. Not that the American star's all-round game was much better despite showing glimpses of her talent in the second set. She hit just 10 winners to Bouzas Maneiro's 27, to go with 54 unforced errors. It only took a few minutes for eyebrows to shoot up inside the arena as Gauff was broken in the match's opening game, and by the 23-minute mark, the Spaniard had a comfortable 5-0 lead. Gauff managed to break Bouzas Maneiro to avoid a first-set bagel, but her opponent immediately broke Gauff for the 4th time in a row to seal the set. She gave herself a further mountain to climb in the second set as she quickly fell behind again, but Gauff began the recovery effort as she held serve, promptly broke back, got the set back on serve at 4-4 and broke Bouzas Maneiro again to serve for the set. There was another twist as the Spanish 23-year-old once again attacked Gauff's serve to stay in the set, although the American was able to hold her nerve in a tiebreak to send the match to a decisive third set. Gauff was pumped up after claiming the second set, but regular business resumed as she once more fell into problems with her serve. Bouzas Maneiro raced into 5-0 lead. She never looked like surrendering and served out the match to deliver a first career win over Gauff. United Cup drama. Coco Gauff's stunning upset by Jessica Bouzas Maneiro. In the electric atmosphere of Perth's RAC Arena, where the summer sun seemed to hover over the tennis courts like a witness to destiny, one of the early storylines in the 2026 United Cup took shape in dramatic fashion. On a night that promised fireworks, the spotlight shone brightly on Coco Gauff, America's tennis prodigy and one of the most electrifying talents on the WTA Tour. But when the dust settled, it was Spain's Jessica Bouzas Maneiro who stood triumphant, not just with a win, but with one of the year's most unforgettable upsets. The West Australian +1. The context: United Cup stakes and Gauff status. The United Cup is more than a mixed team event. It's the sport's grand opening act, a tug-of-war that pits nations against each other and sets the tone for the season ahead. For the USA, the goal was clear: defend their crown and continue a proud tradition of excellence. At just 21, Coco Gauff has already lived more tennis milestones than many athletes do in a career. A double major champion, a top 5 player, and a generational face of American tennis, she arrived in Perth as a key pillar of the defending champion squad. With the crowd buzzing and expectations sky-high, fans expected Gauff to deliver another vintage performance. Women's Tennis Association. Yet on this particular evening, the script, as sport writers and fans alike remind themselves so often, had other plans. First set, a shock to the system. When Bouzas Maneiro broke Gauff in the opening game, there was a flinch of surprise. But by the time the first set ended 6-1 in favor of the Spaniard, that surprise had turned into outright disbelief. Gauff's serve, normally a weapon of precision and calm, crumbled under relentless pressure. She managed just a single ace, was broken 9 times, and produced a concerning 14 double faults. In contrast, Bouzas Maneiro was crisp, confident, and unafraid to strike. Her forehand thundered through rallies, her return game cut through Gauff's rhythm like a knife through mist. The West Australian. Every game felt like a small earthquake. Even the briefest holds of serve by Gauff were sandwiched between breaks almost before the echo of the rally's last ball had faded. Second set, a fightback born of grit. But Gauff is not an athlete who folds without a fight. Not on any stage, not in front of any crowd. It was in the second set that we saw the competitor, the one with 2 major trophies and countless battles under her belt, refuse to let the match slip quietly into history. Gauff began to find a measure of control, holding serve and clawing back games with increasingly intelligent shot-making. Down 4-1, she rallied back to 4-4, demonstrating the kind of resilience that has come to define her play. The set, tense and tightly contested, swung toward a tiebreak, and the American seized her moment, tugging the second set away at 7-6, 3. For those watching, it felt like a turning point, like the pendulum had swung back toward expectation. But tennis, and especially the United Cup, has a habit of defying the expected. The West Australian +1. Third set, a stunning decider. Just when fans thought the momentum had shifted, Bouzas Maneiro reminded the tennis world why she's not just a footnote in this narrative. The Spaniard opened the final set with a break, and from there, propelled by precision and belief, she raced to a 6-0 decider. It was a statement, an emphatic reclamation of control that left no doubt. This was no fluke, no lucky day in the sun. This was Bouzas Maneiro at the peak of her strategic and competitive powers. When the final point was played and the Spanish players sealed the bagel, the crowd erupted, some in stunned silence, some in gleeful cheers for a career-shaking moment. United Cup. Statistical storytelling. Reading between the lines. Scores tell one story, but the fine print of tennis tells another. Gauff's first serve percentages dropped below her usual standard. She struggled mightily, winning only 6 points on second serve. Bouzas Maneiro converted 9 of 12 break points, clinical in pressure situations. The American's unforced error count ballooned into the half-hundreds, a telltale sign of a match slipping away from her normally eloquent control. United Cup. These numbers aren't just stats, they're snapshots of emotion, pressure, and opportunity. Every double fault? A fleeting moment of tension. Every break point earned? A shift in narrative that neither player took lightly. Bouzas Maneiro's breakthrough moment. For Jessica Bouzas Maneiro, this victory is a defining chapter, not just another notch on the belt, but a career-shaping peak.